Welcome to another episode of the Clodhopper podcast. I'm Jimmy Heslop. I hope everyone out there is doing fantastic. I'm doing pretty good. Can't lie. Doing all right. The weather has been pretty outstanding. I know I start with that every time, but it does. The weather absolutely sometimes dictates my mood, and I can't help it. So that's why I mention it. It does. I acknowledge it. I'm okay with it. I'm willing to admit that the weather does something to me, and it's been better. So that's what it is. We've had sun. The snow's all melted off. We've had like 50s. I was able to fucking finally grill, which was fantastic. Nothing makes me more happy than grilling. So that's one thing you'll learn about me real quick. I'm not much of a cook, but I love to grill the shit out of some food. So when this time of season, this time of year rolls around and I can grill to my heart's delight, that's pretty much all I do. So I'm super ecstatic about the ability to grill at this point. And I did. I was mildly disappointed this week because I had my intention to grill on Wednesday. And like most times when I plan on doing something or it's garbage day, ends up being the windiest goddamn day of the week. And so I was like, hey, I'm going to grill on Wednesday. Guess what? It was the windiest day of the week, so I didn't grill on Wednesday. So I had to push it back a day and grill on Thursday. But it was still great and gave me the opportunity to be outside even more. Grilled. Me and the kids messed around, played some basketball, played some football. And then my Danny Tanner side kicked in and I got sidetracked and I started cleaning shit in my garage. So that's just how it goes with me sometimes. But yeah, no, things have been all right. Things have been pretty good. I think in the last time I mentioned, I was prepping for Riker's birthday, and that was good. It was a success. Although one thing I came to realize about his birthday is kids now have it fantastic. Like, his birthday was on Thursday. And so my initial plan was, hey, we'll do gifts, and then I was going to take him out to dinner. But it was on a Thursday, so I was like, hey, I gave him the option, which ended up being a huge mistake. Gave him the option, and then so I presented it to him. Hey, do you want to do dinner on your birthday, Thursday, or do you want to do it on Friday? Huge mistake. Because, of course, we'll do it Friday. Now, not only are we doing his actual birthday and gifts on Thursday, I've set myself up for a second day. Friday. Now we're doing dinner on Friday. And on top of all of that, guess what else I planned? Birthday party on Saturday. So now the kid gets 3 days of celebrating. Good for him, but all I could do was flash back to my childhood and think that I was lucky to have about a 4-hour window that my birthday was actually thought about or celebrated. And the majority of it was happy birthday in the morning, and then Chuck E. Cheese with all of my cousins at night for like 3 hours. And that makes me laugh too, because I don't know if everybody else's childhoods were the same, but I feel like myself and my siblings and all of my cousins basically all had the same birthdays, like type of celebration. It was, if your birthday fell during the summer, we were meeting at a park and we were swimming in one of those concrete wading pools that ripped you the shit up, like ripped your knees up, ripped your elbows up. There was at least 3 or 4 kids that were coming out of that thing wounded. So those were the summer kids. We all met at a park, did birthdays that way. Then you had the winter kids who all celebrated their birthdays at Chuck E. Cheese. And so thinking back to my childhood, it's kind of hilarious because I feel like we all had the same experience in birthdays. There was nothing whatsoever unique about anybody's birthday. You could pretty much guarantee it was going to be the exact same thing. But hey, we loved it, right? It was great. But it makes me laugh. But it also makes me mad as an adult and a parent that now my kids get 3 days of celebrating and I got about 4 hours of celebrating. So yeah, I'm a little biffed about it, to be honest. But anyway, it was good. It was good. We had a good time. We had a good 3 days. Can't complain that way. It was a good time. He had a good 3-day celebration, and now he's 10. I think I mentioned that before, which is absolutely crazy. And then the best part is as soon as his birthday's over, my daughter's instantly on to her countdown. Like the next day it was, guess what, Dad? My birthday is in 2 months. Not thinking about that right now, sweetheart. Sorry. Just not. No, I'm not. That's too far ahead. Oh, man. Kids, you know. Love them or hate them. Anyway, on to some more light topics. How about them fucking Iowa Hawkeye basketball teams this past weekend, huh? That was some wild shit. I don't think I've ever seen 2 Iowa teams in the same weekend do some crazy things like they did. The men came back from, I don't even know what it was, like 10 to 12 points down in like less than a minute to force overtime and then win it. And then the women beating Indiana like 1.5 seconds left. So that was pretty gnarly and cool to see for Iowa fans out there. And that just like rolls into the tournaments coming up. So that's pretty sweet. So that was kind of another highlight of the weekend that I caught and thought was pretty cool. Yeah, it's another Friday. My son's got his basketball game, and then my daughter's got soccer tomorrow. So it's not overly cramped or busy weekend, but we got some stuff going on that kind of fills and will be good. Oh, and I know I mentioned it last time. He's not a fan of everybody, or not everybody's a fan of him, I should say. But the new Morgan Wallen album's out. And it's absolute fire. That's all I can say about it. It's good. I listened to it pretty much all day at work. It's real good. So if you're a fan of his, get on that. Listen to that shit. He's got some bangers on there. And yeah, that's so relatable. Unfortunately, you listen to some of that, and you're gonna be like, "What?" But yeah, if you can relate, you can relate, and your boy can relate. So I like it. I like it, and it's gonna be on play repeatedly for some time for me. That's all I can say about it. So that's cool too. I got that to rock to for the weekend. But yeah, overall everything else is good. I'm looking forward to we're we're 1 week closer to daylight savings, which is great. Means we get more light at the end of the day, and then we're like 2 weeks out from spring, first day of spring, and that's fantastic too. So I'm very much looking forward to both of those dates, and that means we're in the good shit. We're in the good weather, good timing, and that's gonna be good as well. Um, but yeah, I just wanted to do another quick little session. And on a more serious topic, I had a Facebook post today for those who follow me. And it was some excerpts from I do some journaling, and it's a combination of like legit writing in a notebook, but I also tend to do like some digital stuff. So when shit hits me out of nowhere, I kind of type stuff into my notes on my iPhone. Um, but yeah, that's something I've gotten into recently, uh, where ideas or thoughts kind of hit me, and it's been kind of a weird thing. Like I feel like lately my brain is functioning at this weird sort of level where um, it's like the emotions that I've felt and coupled with the knowledge that I've gathered are all sort of starting to mesh in this weird sort of way. So it's odd because there are times a day where like out of nowhere, like some of the things that I posted today, there was like 3 quotes, and they're all original. Um, but they're just things that have come to me throughout the course of the day or days or whatever. But they're kind of developed from my experiences and emotions at the time, um, and yeah, they just formulate in a weird sort of way where I just feel the need to kind of write them down, like in little, almost like little quotes that I can share later on, um, and hopefully share those with other people that can relate and be useful. Because I'm finding over time the more I do that sort of exercise, it's actually more useful to myself too. And if they can be useful to me, then my hope is that they can be useful to someone else as well. So um, I know that my mom had commented on my post after I posted those, and she was maybe sort of joking, maybe not joking, but uh, she mentioned like it writing a book or something along those lines, based on like the things that I'm writing, currently developing and thinking, and I don't know. We'll see. Maybe that'll be in the cards someday. Um, but yeah, right now I'm just in the mode of sharing um, as much of myself in a real manner and capacity that I can, and that's all. That's not out of vanity. That's out of growth, and so I hope nobody looks at it that way. It's not a fucking finger point me thing. I feel like this is what I need to do, and I care enough about myself to do that, and I also care enough about the people around me to do that, and that's why it's important to me. somebody can take any grain of anything I say that's helpful, then that's a fucking win all day. And I also had people reach out after I posted that, and messages and whatnot. And that means a lot to me because sometimes when I post things, and even like this, like the podcast thing, I don't know who the fuck's listening. I don't know if anybody's listening. But for me, this is a therapeutic thing for myself. And so, I hope this never comes off as like a vanity thing where it's like attention seeking, whatever. For me, it's all about it's a form of therapy for myself, just to get out, speak. But also, today was evidence to me that my words help people too, and that's the icing on the cake. That's the cherry on top. That's it's not my intent, but like if I can help anybody with anything and give people perspective, then that's beautiful. That to me that means the world. So so I'm going to continue to do that. I'm going to continue to try and share little excerpts and journal entries and things like that, because ultimately, like I said, at the end of the day, if my thoughts and my views and things can help people and people can relate, that's amazing to me. So I'm going to do that. And I'll end this with, I saw a little video from Shia LaBeouf. I don't know how the fuck you say his name. But anyway, in this video, he was talking about like shit he deals with in life. And he said, if he knew, he didn't know what his calling was. You know, he's a celebrity, he's an actor, whatever. But like he never felt like he knew what his calling was. But he said if he knew ultimately that like the pain and suffering and things he went through in his life could be helpful to people, and that his pain and suffering could be a service to people, then maybe he would have lived his life a little bit different. And admittedly, I don't know what my calling is. I don't know if I have a calling. I know that I'm a dad. I know that I'm a son. I know that I'm a brother. I know that I'm a friend. I know what I do for a career, but even in my career, I don't know if that's my calling. But in a lot of ways, the last couple months, through my experiences and my thoughts, I kind of feel like expressing myself in this manner, and sharing my experiences and my knowledge via my pain and my emotion, that maybe that's my calling. And if I can help somebody, sure feels like a calling. That's all I got for now. Until next time, take care. Love you all.